I made $1 million on that. I made $1 million on that coat. Oh.
Rolling on air.
Good, yeah. Cool. Back again with the Corner Podcast. Obviously, you got yourself Ken's.
Brims.
Don Dada Tash.
And we've also got a guest here with us today. Do you want to introduce yourself or do you want me to do it?
You can do it.
Alright, so we've got Brianna with us. I think she's coming in.
She said Brie in it, bro.
What did I say?
That's calm still. It's calm.
I got it right, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The mic's a bit too fast still.
Oh, you need to bring your mic closer.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're going to talk about a few different topics throughout this one.
Mainly based on mental health. And, I don't know. Is it mental health in general or? Yeah, you might as well talk about mental health in general.
And
yeah.
then you can talk about your own situations.
Your own
Cool.
situations.
That makes sense. So what? Going off what you because you mentioned something interesting in the.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to talk about. I want to talk about something. I found it the other day.
Yeah.
It's a little story I found on Insta. So it was like, "Are you alright, bro?"
Sorry, lads.
He's not serious today.
The story was a guy wifed a girl when she was homeless, helped put her through school to become a lawyer. After 10 years, she no longer wants to be with him because she feels he's not on her level. What's your thoughts?
Severe head loss, man.
That's crazy, isn't it? Because, bruv, I don't want to start in it. Do you know what? She could have been right, actually. She could have been right, innit? He might have done his thing trying to help her out, whatever, but then it got to a point where.
This I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't know if this
wouldn't
the
be
picture
at the level she's at without him.
I hear what you're saying, innit?
Bruv,
So
she'll still be
no, he's
homeless.
the issue with it, but maybe he would like, stay in the same place.
No, but it don't matter. Like, he helped her, so she should try help him the same way he helped her.
Yeah, of course, helping him. I hear that, but what about maybe she don't want to be with him anymore?
Why?
Can she not choose?
No.
Is it by force?
Nah, but bro,
But
if
he's got her there.
So is it by force he has to be with her?
I mean, he can level up a bit, but he got her there.
So
Where
is it by
would she
force?
be?
So okay, question. Can you ask my question? Is it by force that he has to be with this girl?
No.
Sorry, the girl has to be with him.
Oh, so you're defending the girl?
No, I'm just saying though. Is it by
Yeah.
you're
force?
just trying to play devil's advocate, innit, for no reason.
I'm being serious though. Like, I'm being serious.
Have you heard the story of that? The woman and the snake. There was a snake dying in the wild.
Yeah.
She took it in, like he was tangled up in like barbed wire and that. She took the snake in, like helped nurture it, like helped give him medical care and that, feed him, ended up growing. I think 5 years later down the line, the snake bit her and killed her.
But bro, that's what I'm trying to say though. What do you expect the snake to do?
The exact point. That's the same with this, isn't it? If you don't know someone and
my thing is also like you chose to help this girl out, whatever, innit?
Yeah, but still, yeah. Like,
so when you help this person out, do you expect something back?
it's not expecting something back.
So
But if
that's
we're in
my
a
thing.
relationship, yeah, obviously not me and you, innit? Like,
You have to explain that, bro.
you know,
Man knows not me and you, innit, bro. But yeah,
but like, if man helps you, yeah, and then you get to a certain level, let's say I help you and you get past me,
yeah,
and then now you start looking down on me, that's wrong. 'Cause
that is
obviously
wrong. That's morally
And
it's
then
wrong,
on
innit?
top of that, what does she love him for? Did she love him in the first place?
That's
if
the
you
thing.
did, then you would still love him.
there's a further story there's a further comment from the girl in this, yeah. So she goes, I'm 26 years old. My parents died when I was 14 years old. Then I dropped out of school because no one could afford to pay my fees. I then met this guy when I was 16 and he sent me back to school. He was selling fruits on the street just to pay my fees. He then got a job as a truck driver and sent me to college. Now I'm working as a lawyer. My problem is that I feel I can't continue with this relationship because I feel that this guy is too low and is not the type of husband I wish for. How best can I tell him that he is not my type without hurting his feelings?
But
I'm grateful that he sent me to school, but I can't be in a relationship with him anymore. I want somebody in my own class, not a truck driver.
what she should've done,
Okay.
yeah?
That sounds a bit crazy now, innit?
You know what she should have
That-
done, yeah?
that's
See, at the
right.
beginning,
Wait,
yeah.
so were they together in the beginning?
But I don't
So
know.
she was homeless,
Yeah,
and then obviously she was 16. I don't know how old the guy is, but basically he took her in, helped obviously clothe her, whatnot. Sold fruits on the street just to send her through school. Then we got a truck driver job just to send her to college. She's then become a successful lawyer, and now she's looking at him like, well, you're not on my level now, so laters.
But they're together,
They
I'm
can still
guessing,
be
yeah?
friends, but they
No,
weren't
no.
together.
But I'm
In
assuming
this
they're
scenario, yeah. So she wants to get rid of him because she is not the husband that she dreamt of.
Okay, yeah, so they're
Oh,
together
so
then.
they were together.
Yeah.
But my point is
Yeah.
that yeah, would she have got the husband she dreamt for if he did not come along?
No.
No.
Of course not.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I hear that, and I hear
So
that.
this is kind of mad. But at the end of the day, you can't hold anyone to like do. You can't make them do something if she don't want to be with him. That's her decision.
No,
I
but you
feel
know
like
what?
that is very.
You know,
whack
it's
from her.
fair. If say if she don't want to be with him, innit? But I think the reason she's given is not really. It's not, to me. It's a bit crazy because one time he was at level higher than you, and he was only fed at fruits, bruv. You was at no level, if that makes sense, innit?
Yeah.
So now you're looking down upon him, even though he could have done the same to you, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. We'll post the
poll
same thing
about
we're
that.
talking about,
That's
and
great.
yeah, people can give us their thoughts. But another thing that someone commented on it was like, when men become successful, they want to give a woman the world, but when a woman becomes successful, she wants to do everything on her own.
From a lady's point of view, what do you think?
Yeah.
I think
perfect.
girls like to be independent.
Yeah.
Some.
Well, yeah,
Some.
exactly.
But me personally, if someone got me to a certain place, I'd like to pay them back.
But what if you were with this person?
If I was with them.
Yeah. Would you stay with them?
Yeah, because you love them.
Well,
If you love them in the beginning, it shouldn't matter what they're doing.
This is the
The
question
love
now,
doesn't
isn't it?
disappear.
She made a valuable point at the beginning.
Mm.
What was the girl's intentions in the beginning?
Yeah,
She might have
so-
just saw him coming and thought, you know what, I'm going to finesse my way to
yeah,
the top
yeah,
here.
maybe actually. You're right.
But if it was genuine love, then I think another.
But I do believe that like I think we said it last week actually. Like if a guy is a certain position, he'd like give the lady the world over. But if it's a lady in a certain position, like higher than him,
Yeah, girls
she's
would
not
never
gonna-
look down on a
She's
man,
looking down
man.
that way, innit?
That's lower
She's
than
not
them.
thinking, nah, that's not mine.
No, she's trying.
I'm
to
not
look
saying
at
that's true,
someone
but
at
generally,
her
I think
level.
generally that's kind of. What do you think?
Generally, yeah.
That's
like-
quite an interesting one. Actually, I'm gonna put a poll out about that
You
one.
get what I'm
Actually,
saying?
like
Like a man
how-
would be with a bum, that's a lady, but
Yeah.
other way around, it's not working.
It's not
bro.
happening.
Do you get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's true.
Like you always see these rappers trying to move to like girls that you see local,
I
whatever.
think-
but
yeah.
you never see someone like Jessica Alba. Just first name
No
come off the
chance.
top of my head.
Pretty privileged.
Trying to
you know.
move
So-
to like a brother from. Do you know what I mean?
Why are you pointing at me? Fam?
No, I said a brother, bro. I'm talking about the general.
Alright, pretty
stuff.
privilege is a real thing, bro.
But another funny one, someone goes, yeah, if you was playing for a Sunday League team
Mm.
and a League One team come and give you a chance to play in League One, but now you're smashing it and a Prem team comes, are you going to stay at that League One club?
Impossible. Impossible. I'm going because it makes more sense for my future.
No, but
bro.
still, I'm still gonna show respect to the League One team, innit?
Yeah,
Got me there,
posting on
innit?
Snapchat, Instagram here. They help
But
me
you,
to get where
but
I'm
you
getting.
see with this girl, there's no respect, fam. She just finessed whatever she got, and she's like, "Alright, cool, bro, you
I'm
got
out."
me." Hold
That's
that.
kind of mad.
You know what I mean? Like that's a bit mad.
That's kind
still.
of mad. Another one, matey boy from Atlanta, striker.
Oh
Remember I
yeah,
put in the
that's
group
crazy.
the other
I saw that,
day.
That's crazy.
So this actually ties in quite well with
Mental health,
the mental
innit?
health stuff,
Yeah,
innit?
yeah,
So a footballer from Atalanta,
Italian team.
innit?
Okay.
So basically, he had a girlfriend, whatever. So he travelled back to where he lived to see his girlfriend, but he found out that she was cheating on him. And now, like, he's suffering with depression, and he can't play in this football match, which is the biggest game of his life. So, like, it's just he's now all gone through this because obviously this girl's cheated on him. So
She should tax him.
she's attacked him.
Yeah.
Tax
no,
him?
he should tax her.
He should
sorry.
tax her.
How?
Oh.
He
How?
needs to get compensation.
There's no compensation for me.
He might
They-
not
they-
want money. What
they-
conversation are you talking about?
Money
Oh,
isn't
his
everything,
career.
you know.
He don't need money.
Nah, but he's a footballer. He don't need money.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's kind of, it's kind
Basically, what I'm getting from this is that
Go on.
women are the reason.
nah.
I think a lot of people. Go
A lot
to
of men's mental health
is due to
starts with women. man.
I'm
telling you.
so sure about that, but I could be wrong in it. But that's my
The majority of it.
yeah.
I think I can't agree with that, you know. I know a lot
It's
of people
women.
myself.
I know.
Money.
Remember that brother from
And then
our side, Reading.
everything else. Yeah.
I heard that from what's his name? I'm not even say his name, but that brother used to Oxford Road one sock and one shoe sometime.
Tigger.
I didn't want to say his name. I knew exactly his
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, him innit. But I heard his situation was mad because of a
Yeah.
girl, innit?
Fam, I
You
know
know the
what.
story?
I know
What's the
what.
story? I heard about
But
a
he
few
was
times.
married and she took everything basically.
Yeah, and then he was doing well, innit? Like a successful businessman apparently. I don't know, innit? But
Right.
then,
That's peak.
and you see what he was looking like on
Yeah.
the Oxford Road, but apparently he was doing really well. And then she come on through and took everything.
That's
Wow.
mad. So for those who don't know, obviously, the person we're talking about is someone that's quite popular, quite well known in Reading for
Yeah, I'm
like.
gonna say that.
Is he
he's
still
quite-
about?
He was homeless and that.
I heard he died, innit? I'm not too sure though, but I heard he died.
He was homeless and that, but basically the moral of the story, well, not moral of the story. Long story short was that he was a successful businessman, but then
Or something like that anyway.
did she divorce him or did she just leave him?
I think I don't even know exactly, but I heard that she finessed him, innit?
She finessed,
Yeah,
so
cut
long
to
story
good
short,
stuff.
she finessed him and then now man's homeless.
See, women.
I heard he's even bust judge on man, but I don't know how true this is, but bro, why you like? It's not even funny though. Like, I heard she,
That stuff's real, you know.
yeah,
Do you know how many stories I've read, like of a man having like sex with a girl and their whole life just turns upside down from it? That's a whole nother.
I've heard about that as well.
Yeah,
bro.
there's a whole other
There's
thing we can
something
talk about another
yeah,
day.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like,
I've heard that.
I've heard bare stories of that kind of stuff.
See, you man. See, common denominator.
What's that?
Women.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, you need to
I'm
give
not
a
saying they're
rest,
the
bruv.
problem in it, but
You need to give her a rest.
I'm saying maybe.
Man said, I'm not saying they're the problem,
I'm not
but
saying
they
that-
are the problem.
Nah,
innit?
I would say that. I would say
Nah,
that.
it's all down to how you perceive it, isn't it? You can't control it. The only thing you can control in that situation
Is
is
yourself,
what
innit?
you do, innit?
I feel like you can't. You know, in this life, I think people put too much into like their partner in it. Not like that, but
Remember, I've been saying it
I've said
though,
before, like you like expect everything from your partner, innit?
I don't want to
Or
get in
whatever.
no relationship here
Where
like,
your partner is your life. Like
if
your
my-
happiness depends on her, innit?
Yeah, like if my partner
or
leaves,
him,
my
in
life
that
is
sense.
done.
Yeah,
I don't want to
see what
get
I'm
in that kind. I don't want that kind of love.
And I feel like a lot of men, like I said, I could be wrong
Like they
again,
get into that.
They get into them situations.
Even the Arsenal football player, remember, Abue.
A boy.
Like his wife, he was there begging, obviously Arsenal to give him a job, and I don't know
Nah,
if
but
he
that's
did.
not. That's not. He didn't put his life into a girl.
No,
The
but
girl
what
just
I-
sucked him. It's a completely different. It's different to what you're saying, isn't it?
No, but she sucked him, but she was probably also like
No, he's a footballer, bro. Come on.
the love of his life, innit?
Yeah,
But you're forgetting where these men are
Let's-
coming from, innit? These men are coming from like Africa, like the bottom of the bottom.
Yeah.
Obviously they get money, and then these girls, obviously they start getting these upper echelon girls.
What do you mean?
and, like,
What's that mean?
like top tier girls, innit?
But what's a top tier girl, bruv?
Like,
I don't-
girls they wouldn't get if they didn't have money, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they get them. Obviously, these men,
Yeah.
they don't know nothing. Like, obviously, they get these girls in their head. They're thinking like, this girl likes me for me, innit? But so they fall in love, and then obviously they put their all into the girl. And then when the girl leaves, or whatever, she gets what she wants and she leaves. Like
Yeah.
their life just crumbles, innit?
Of course.
So
Yeah.
that's how it works, innit? With this whole thing.
Definitely
like,
happens a lot, bro.
Yeah.
So-
Going back to obviously the depression side of things, obviously with the player from Atalanta, what's your thoughts on the way people talk about depression nowadays?
I think it's taken as a joke.
I think a lot of people do take it as a joke because I don't think they actually. Yeah, Karen, sorry.
No, go on.
No, I don't think people like know what it is, innit? That's probably why they think it's a joke.
I think in our community they don't really know what it is or it doesn't exist. And then
No, but I think in general, like anxiety, everyone just throws the word. I'm
Oh,
not
yeah,
saying
that's
like
a
that,
joke
but
to
I think a lot of
everyone.
people say anxiety, but
and then
because-
some people don't know what it is and they just think, oh, I'm a bit shy, so that's anxiety. That's not anxiety.
I think-
how do you know that though? What is anxiety? Tell me. If it's not anxiety, what is it?
But isn't anxiety? This is well,
I think anxiety is a
It could be loads of things.
Yeah.
anxiety and depression are like both human emotion. Do you know what I mean? Like we'll all
Yeah.
go like if you. This is the problem why how I said like how do you feel like it's perceived nowadays? Because like you said, people see it as like a joke because you can Google depression. And you can actually match up with a couple of them stuff. So you can actually label
Diagnose
yourself. As
yourself,
like,
yeah.
You can self-diagnose yourself as I'm someone that's got depression. But depression is actually a human emotion. That being depressed is a human emotion that we all have. There will be certain situations in all of our lives that will make us depressed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Same with anxiety. Like for example, I play football. For example, there's situations in football that make me anxious. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna then go and say like I've got anxiety, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying like. The way it's perceived nowadays is, like you said, is taken for a joke
or like it's a short-term thing.
or as a short-term thing. And I don't think enough people have the education on it to understand the severity levels of it. Because I do think, as humans, we all will suffer with each to a degree, but there is obviously levels of severity on the scale of it.
But I think it's different as well. Like in the black community, like you might be depressed and not even know it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? There's
Yeah,
not enough
correct, yeah.
education.
Because we don't-
Like you might be feeling some emotions that you don't understand. You've never
Yeah.
been educated on them emotions to know what it is.
But why do you
feel
feel like
like-
that's just the black community?
I don't know, man.
I think it's the way we look at it, you know, because a lot of the black community, a lot of it is whether it's you follow Islam or Christianity or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of it is run like a lot of us believe in religion, innit? In some form of religion, and
mm.
in religion they barely talk about
These
that
things.
kind of stuff, innit? When you go through these kind of stuff, we all understand that everyone will go through hardships, and you got to put your trust in God or whoever you
Yeah,
believe in.
yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So that's probably another reason why in the black community it's not looked upon like that. Whereas in other communities, you have like awarenesses and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
I can only speak from my Caribbean heritage. We don't really look on that. Do you know what I mean? When you're going through bad stuff, you pray to God, you weather the storm,
Get back up.
and then you get
We
back
hear
up.
things like that, innit?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we all go through bad times. You got to weather the storm, get through it, take your time, take your moment to yourself, but then you got to get back through it, innit?
But even in the black community though, like
Your
we're not taught to register with our emotions, innit? Like like from young, like you're
I
taught
don't know about that, you know.
Like me, especially from what I know, innit? Like
Yeah.
I was never taught like to be emotional or anything. Like like if you're going through something, like like men don't cry
Yeah.
or like them kind of situations where
Where
sometimes
they
you might
derive
need
from-
a little cry, innit?
Like,
Like
did it derive from your parents or something or what?
yeah, obviously, and just growing up around,
Yeah,
innit?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
so you're not aware of the emotions because you're just taught, what I mean, you got to be strong through everything. Like you can't just let it out or whatever. So like you might not be aware of certain things you're feeling. Let's say depression. Like you might be chilling there, go tell your mum I'm depressed. Go pray.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
go pray about it and
Yeah.
then leave it to God
Oh,
or
God, yeah, literally that.
or just I don't know. Like you might go feeling aware about something, go to your dad or something, crying. Your dad be telling you like, bruv, big men don't cry.
Yeah,
bro.
big
Why
men
you
don't cry,
crying?
men don't
Like,
cry. Yeah,
do you get what I'm trying to say? And you're
right.
thinking like, how can I let out my emotions or what I'm feeling right now? Like, you don't have no outlet. So that's why probably like mental health is a big thing in like the black community, if that makes sense. Because like, who are you gonna talk to? You can't go to your parents. You can't go to your friends. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like me, like if I'm feeling
What's
away,
that, like a pride thing, do you think?
yeah, more time it's
I
a
think
pride
it's
thing.
seen as weakness as well.
A sign of weakness, isn't it?
Yeah, like we're just meant to be strong and not feel anything.
You always hear that what's it called, stereotype of black women, like that strong black woman. Like
Yeah,
maybe they
strong,
don't want to hear that.
independent,
Do
don't
you get
need
what I'm
anyone.
saying? Maybe they don't want to hear that always.
I don't know, man. Like it's
That one there is a bit. I get where they're coming from, but like I always use that example of my mum, innit? Like strong black woman. I don't think there's anything wrong with being classed as like a strong
No, it isn't.
black
I don't think it's a
woman.
problem. No, I just think it's in a sense where, like, for example,
But I think it's bad when it's an expectation where black
Yes,
women are
that's
just
what I mean,
supposed to
okay,
be
yeah,
strong
yeah, yeah,
all
I
the
got
time,
you, I
innit?
got you,
Like,
I got
I think that's when it's bad, innit? Like when it's when they expect it to be strong all the time. Like whatever happens to them, it's like, nah, you're black woman. You're supposed to be strong.
Ah,
like,
okay, gotcha.
You're supposed to take care of that.
Yeah.
You're supposed to look after your man if he's doing the dumb shit because
You
you're a
know
strong
what I
black
mean?
woman.
Like,
You're supposed to be a strong black woman, that's single mum because you're a strong black woman. You
you know
get
what I
stuff
mean?
like that.
Like, you can handle being like,
Yeah, you can handle
like-
that. You can handle that. They expect
Like-
it, innit? I get what you're saying.
Like it's
the same
mad,
thing.
and I think like that's what probably plays in a lot of mental health because like I know a lot of people, like young people that have killed themselves. Do you get what I'm trying to
What,
say?
ladies
Like,
or both.
women, men,
Yeah.
all like
But
black
because
as well.
of mental
But
health
it's mental health, innit? Like, well, we suspect it's mental health, but
yeah.
it's mad, innit? Because you be thinking like they probably didn't get the help that they needed at the time, and then by the time they probably tried to get the help, it
Have
was
you
too late.
ever
Like,
experienced anything like that?
I've experienced something, but I didn't know what it was, innit? I just thought,
Like using a dark place.
yeah,
what
but I didn't understand it, and I didn't know what it was, innit?
Do you know
Like,
the right
What
for it,
did
like
you do? Yeah, what caused it, and what did you do to sort of get out of it, or was it just you just read the wave sort of
Fam,
thing?
I can't lie. I think I just read the wave. Like it was like, I think 2014. Like I
Yeah.
just won like
You ain't gonna talk about the exact
no,
scenario,
no.
but do you
It
know what I
wasn't
mean?
nothing
Yeah,
too
yeah.
mad. It wasn't
Speak about it if you
nothing
want, innit?
mad. No, it wasn't nothing mad. Like,
Yeah.
like I won like a boxing tournament,
Mm.
and then he was like, "All right, cool. Like, where do I go from here?" Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
Okay.
like
So
I
you-
felt like there
you
was a
thought
lot
your
of pressure
life-
in it because I
yeah.
felt like everyone was watching me because, like, my coach and them lot kept putting me in the newspaper and all of that other stuff, and I was like, "Nah, I don't really want that."
And that's a big
Like,
thing that told me.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But like, I didn't want to be because I didn't want the pressure because it's like now, like I felt like I can't afford to lose now because
Yeah.
everyone's watching. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
got to a point like I was just like, I don't know if it was depression or whatever. I was just down. Like, but I didn't understand it. And I was thinking,
Yeah.
like, it didn't make sense to me, like what was going on. But then after a while, that like it made sense in it, like what it was. I just felt like I probably felt like I put too much pressure on myself. Like I felt like I couldn't lose because if I lose
So,
now,
yeah.
everyone's looking at me like.
So you
"Oh,
gave yourself like high
like,
expectations.
yeah, like that's the guy you lot thought was good in it,
Oh,
but
yeah,
like he's
yeah,
not
so-
that good, like as
so-
good as he was.
This is the
And I was
thing,
thinking like I don't want to lose, and
It's
if I
not-
lose,
Yeah.
like I'm done. Like no one's gonna take me seriously no
Yeah.
more. But then,
Especially in boxing, a loss nowadays is a big thing, innit? Like,
but then I didn't understand it though because I was thinking like, why do I feel like this?
Mm-hmm.
And then after a while, then I realized
makes
like
sense what
it
it
was
could
kind
be.
of like a bit of depression and anxiety put together. Because
Yeah,
bruv,
yeah.
it went on for like 3 weeks, but to me, it didn't make sense in it because I didn't know nothing about no depression, anxiety, or
all that
none
stuff.
of that.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I feel like the way people talk about it nowadays is black and white. What causes depression and anxiety? Do you know what I'm saying? Like you talk about that situation will cause you depression and anxiety. It wouldn't cause, it might not cause somebody else. Do you know what I mean? So it's important to understand when people are going through stuff. Like you need to be understanding that. Okay, you might not feel that way going through that situation, but if they feel that way going through that situation, it's important to understand and try to understand. Really, innit? Do you know what I mean? A lot of people nowadays listen to respond and not listen to understand. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's exactly that situation there, isn't it?
Well, I can't lie, I'm probably like that as well. Like,
Do you know why? Because you always feel like you got a solution for it, but
Yeah.
it might be a solution for you, but it might not be a solution for them,
Correct.
innit?
Yeah.
Because you know, like someone come and tell you, this is going on, this is going on. You might give them a solution,
And it's not the solution.
but then you thinking like, I gave you the solution. Like, why are you still going through this? But like,
Yeah.
obviously, you're
But
not
it's not
understanding
easy
their
as that, yeah.
situation,
Yeah, man,
innit?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're not
yeah.
in their head, you're not in their brain.
Yeah,
or
I've
whatever.
got a problem with that as well.
No, you're right. Actually,
You
you're
know
right.
what
We're
I'm
talking about it on the way here, innit?
Yeah.
I personally give someone advice. They didn't take I don't know, went through one ear out the other, didn't listen to it, and I was like, now you just said that, I'm looking back on it, I'm like, okay, maybe he reacts differently to how I react.
Yeah.
So I can't expect my advice to be direct and 100% correct for that person. Do you know what I mean? You need to understand how people operate. Everyone operates differently.
Yeah.
And
Similar
sometimes people don't always need like the advice. Sometimes
Correct,
they just
yeah.
want someone to listen.
Listen to them, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I learned that as well.
I've
I used
got
to be the advice guy, but I thought, nah, let me just listen from now
Fam, I
on.
can't lie.
yeah.
Yeah, I used to be
Trust
that. Well, I still think I'm that guy. Yeah, but I
I
don't.
chill a bit
to
now. I
me,
chill a bit.
It's
After
mad,
a
innit?
while, I realize, oh, nah, let me chill.
Like, I don't go and give someone advice. Like, if someone comes and asks me, and I give them advice, and then like sometimes it gets me mad.
But sometimes they might not want advice. They might just want you. They're not actually saying, "Oh, what should I do?" They might just be talking.
But I
to
think
you.
that's the problem because
And you think they might want advice, so you're trying to give them
yeah,
advice.
but you don't know, innit? If they don't tell you, like, I just
You
want
gotta
someone
know
to
the
listen
person,
to,
innit?
Like, you
But
won't
listening
know
to
that's
me is
your
asking
thing.
the
Like, I might come to you and with a problem.
Yeah.
I might not tell you, like, I just want you to listen. You know what I mean? So you might think, he's coming to me because he wants advice.
Because
innit?
it
And
might
then
not
you
be
tell
easy
me.
for them. Yeah.
But unless I tell you, like, I just want you to listen, like, you're not gonna know, innit? So you're just gonna do what you think I want.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like a breakdown of communication because I'm not communicating to you what I want. I know, so you're just telling me
I
what
think
you think I want, innit?
Yeah, I think empathy is very important when you talk to people in these kind of situations. Innit?
Yeah.
I read one book before. I think I told you that before. The Law of Human Nature, innit? It's like a
Yeah.
24-hour. It's audio books, and it's like a 24-hour book, innit? But if you listen to it, it's good still. But flipping, it talks about empathy and how important it is in this world.
Yeah.
Like in terms of just even dealing with people like on a daily basis, or whatever. Like to be empathetic. Like for example, small things like you listen to one, even like nodding, like while they're talking, or like facing them. It's important.
So they
Like,
don't feel ignored.
little things like that, innit? Like even to like just little things like that. Like
Like active listening.
yeah,
sort of
active
thing.
listening, but
yeah,
you're
yeah.
nodding, like shaking your head when something's wrong, or whatever it is. Like just little things like that makes a big difference in terms of making them feel like you listen to them.
Yeah. It's important to understand the person.
Yeah, as
obviously.
well.
If I know, for example, if me and you having a conversation, you're telling me about a problem,
Mm-hmm.
I got to know you in a way to whether I need to give advice or just to listen. Do you know what I'm saying? Like for me, for example, I use my boy Ferdy as an example. Me and him talk about stuff all the time, so I know exactly when he's telling me something, if I need to give him advice
Or just listen.
or just listen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Vice versa. He knows the same with me. If I'm just venting, or does he actually need his advice? But you said something important: the lack of communication nowadays. But people don't communicate, and I'm probably the worst for that when it comes to communicating. I don't communicate. I don't communicate to no soul on the planet when I'm feeling a certain way, and it's probably something that.
I think that's a man thing. I think
Yeah.
that's why a lot of men
Yeah.
have. I think that's why suicide rates of men is
Yeah.
high. Innit?
Yeah,
We feel like it's a pride thing, maybe, or something. I don't know. Like we can't seem weak to them or weak to
And
them.
like she said, yeah, like weakness. Like I think we
Weakness.
look at it as weakness. Like if I go to Kensley, like, bruv, man's not. I'm feeling kind of down.
But you know, it's
or
also
whatever.
like
facts, bro.
like, can you trust everyone? Because you don't want everyone to know your
No.
business.
I
This
think
is-
some people in our community as well, like say you were to vent to them, then
They might go
take
tell
it as
someone else.
gossip.
Do you get what I'm saying?
And be like, oh, she's acting weird, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah,
and not
yeah, yeah.
realise actually that's mental health.
She
That's
needs
what I'm talking
a
about.
have a problem.
So like, do you
Yeah.
trust everyone in terms of telling them your business as well?
No.
It's got to be
That's
someone you trust as well, innit, when you talk to people.
Because that's another thing. Like some people might have like trauma from before. Like I might have told you something. Let's say an example in it. Like I got a problem. I told you something, whatever.
Like a trauma
And then we
situation.
fell out.
Yeah.
And then you want to start telling everyone my
No one
business.
ever
Do
know
you
that.
get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, facts.
And then now it's like I feel like I can't trust no one in it because I told you that out of. You
And
know
that
what I
might be
mean?
your trauma even worse now
Yeah,
because
do
it's
you get what I'm
got
trying to
not
say?
everyone knows about it. Do you get it?
So-
Nah, I'm a guilty for that. So I don't even talk about myself too much about situations as well. I don't know. It could be a trust thing. I don't know.
Like
I
even
just think most people don't even care. That's another problem.
Do
Like,
people
is it-
generally care?
Is it even worth
yeah.
sitting down and telling someone when they're just gonna be like, oh, okay, and then walk off and they don't actually
Care
or
feel like they
try and help you?
Do
Yeah,
you feel like
nah.
you have that kind of person in your life where you can actually sit down and talk to them about your problems?
No.
Maybe not go deep into what you're talking about, but like let's say you're having a bad day or whatever. Do you have that person around you that you can just literally just talk to?
No,
My
I don't
mum.
see the point either. Like even say I was to talk to my mum,
Yeah.
it's more like she'll send me quotes, which is nice.
You said it on the
Yeah.
way here,
But
innit?
it's like you're not actually listening to what I'm saying, or it's
Yeah.
like, oh well, there's worse things out there, and it's like well,
That makes things even
I'm
worse.
telling you my problem.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
trying to talk about everywhere else,
Because that makes you feel even worse now. Because you're thinking like, maybe she's being right. Like,
or maybe my thing's invalid.
yeah, because there's children. You might say something like the children in Africa,
Yeah.
and you're thinking, right, I feel even bad now, even worse now, because she's trying to make me seem like my situation is a small
It's not
situation
that-
compared to their
yeah.
situation. Which in reality, probably, well, I'm not saying in reality it might be, but when
But
you
you
deep
have
it,
your own problems.
do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's crazy.
like even for me, I think it's my mum, bro. But
You talk to her?
Talk to your
yeah,
mum.
like my mum's calm, man. I can talk to her about anything. Like I've gone to her with some mad stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's cool, man.
I think it's good to have a good support system. I mean, you mentioned that like one of the first episodes we did.
Yeah,
Support
like
system.
Black
innit?
community
Yeah.
support systems are
It's
important.
important, isn't it? Like even, I think I've got a pretty good support system now. Anyway, like my siblings are all cool. You get me? Like I've got good friends, family members here and there.
You got to know who to. Well, me personally, I think I know who to go to depending on what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the biggest thing for me. Because, like, you see our group, innit? Our group's just, like, see if I put something serious in the group, it's just non-stop banter, innit?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I remember when I was going through a situation, I'm not going to say what it is, but I was putting stuff in the group, innit? And then we was all bantering, like, just, because that's just how we are, innit? It's just non-stop banter in that group. And then it's like, okay, sometimes you need to separate your serious stuff from that place and take it to somewhere else.
Yeah, because you know why? Because they're always going to see it as a joke.
Yeah, because that's the environment that you're in, innit?
Yeah.
Even people in that group, actually, when they spoke to me about certain stuff outside the group, I can have a serious conversation around them.
Yeah.
But if they put it in the group, because they know the environment, 9 times out of 10, it's just going to be straight banter.
It's going to be straight banter.
Get roasted, bro.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, it's important to know who. Well, it's important to know who you can and cannot talk to about certain stuff.
Because even with things like therapy, man, like I used to think that shit didn't work for me, man.
Yeah.
I used to think therapy is just like the blind leading the
But
blind.
you never
bro.
tried
I
that, have
still
you?
do.
But you never tried
You
that.
think it's like the blind leading the blind?
I don't see the point of talking. I'm not saying this is for everyone, but like I don't see the point of talking to a stranger when they're trained to do that. Like they're trained to listen to you.
So-
And then where do we go from there?
So exactly, if you're paying them for them to listen to, you know, what? If they're trained to listen to you, then
Like
surely they'll be better at their job.
they're qualified to
Yeah.
listen to you.
Yeah.
But you don't care because this is your job.
Do they offer advice?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I've never.
Well, some do, innit? Some will do, yeah.
yeah, but
Because how I look at it is like, I can tell you my problem, yeah,
Mm.
and then you might want to give me a solution or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, your life might be fucked up as well, innit?
Yeah.
and
So like,
sometimes their lives
it's
are
like-
completely different.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like, but I think
So do you feel like they have to be in your environment to understand you?
no, I think it's better though sometimes, you know, to talk to someone that's not
That's not
outside,
that's what I'm
outside
saying.
your environment, you know, because
It's a way of venting, isn't it?
Yeah.
if you talk to someone in your environment, I feel like they're always going to give you the answers that you'd hear anyway.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say?
yeah,
But then
yeah.
like, if you talk to someone outside your environment, they give you a different perspective and things.
They
innit?
didn't know you like that.
But I don't know. I'm still
I think therapy is
50-50
good.
about
I
therapy,
made
man.
therapy myself, innit? But I've heard people talk about therapy, innit? And apparently it benefits them a lot. Like, it's even situations where like they're really close to the therapist now. So it's not even like just about your money. We don't owe your money like
Yeah.
that. It's not that deep. Like, we've actually got a certain relationship. If we're not meeting up, you can call me, whatever. We can talk about this and that, and give you advice on this and that, or what you think I should do, or how you think you should take things.
Like, for
It's more,
me,
I think more times things like things that have happened to you, or your thoughts. I think they kind of explain it to you and break it down.
yeah,
You might understand a bit more.
yeah. I
I
think
think they try to get to the root of your issues.
well, yeah. I think so. I've never been in.
Because
So I don't-
sometimes it's just to talk about, good to talk about, innit? Because you might feel better
Yeah.
instead of holding it in.
like, I've been lucky. Like I got a decent support system at home.
Yeah,
So whatever it is, I can
talk
talk about it. Innit?
Yeah,
Like,
same here.
It don't matter whatever it is. I feel like some of the problems in the black community is that like depending on how you was brought up, like you know, like especially like we're African innit, like you know, there's certain shit you couldn't discuss in the house innit.
Of course not.
Do you get what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say?
no, I
Like, in
hear
front
you
of your
saying.
parents, no matter what it is, like something could happen to you outside the house, yeah,
You can't bring it up.
and you can't bring it in the house innit, just cause like the way you've been brought up. But like
Yeah.
the way I was brought up, like it don't matter what it is innit, like you can talk about it. I feel like that's the problem with some people, why mental health is like a big thing in the black community, because something traumatic can happen to them, but they can't take it home to speak to no one.
Of course not.
They can't take it to their parents, so it's like they kind of have to deal with it themselves, innit?
Yeah, yeah.
And then it gets to a point where they might not be able to deal with it themselves, and then it kind of explodes, and then it goes into whatever it goes in. It might go into suicide or people doing drugs or doing whatever in it. I feel like if people are raised in like an open environment,
Yeah.
I feel like it's much better in it.
Of course.
Instead of like a closed off environment where it's like the parents are like the authority, like you can't
Yeah.
go.
Because we do the thing at my house. We usually have like monthly meetings, innit? Like it's meetings just about the house or just in general, like what we're doing in life, innit? Which is
Yeah.
quite cool. I think like. I don't even know how we come up with the idea. I think it's to do with cleaning. My sister was trying to get
Yeah,
us
you
to
know that
clean
was
it.
always something to do with
To do
cleaning.
cleaning, innit? She's trying to get
Yeah,
on to us
man.
about that. So then obviously from there we just started to have these regular meetings, like talking about how everyone's doing, what's next, like all this stuff there, and it kind of quite helps, innit? Because you say whatever you want. Sometimes I do the same with my girl, just in the car talking, these for time, just about you get me, little things here and there.
Yeah, no, I feel
helps,
like
innit?
that's good sometimes.
Yeah, no,
man.
100%.
But I feel like sometimes, yeah, some people take the piss though. Like, everything that's happening, they try to use mental health, even if they're fucking up.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, like, obviously, you never
But
know
it's
if there's
blurred line
actually
though. That's what I'm
anything.
saying. You
That's what
can't.
I'm trying to say. So you don't know, but I feel like sometimes some people take advantage of the mental
you feel
health thing, innit?
And you
And
feel like
it's
that's why I've
like-
not seen it the
And
same.
it's like they use it to their advantage, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Instead of actually having a mental health issue, like they try to use mental health to their advantage.
It's a blurred line because you never actually know who's actually going through whatever they're going through, innit?
Yeah.
So to this, I'll give it a saying though, like maybe that's why I've not seen it as serious. Because if everyone's saying this is mental health and that's not mental health, then
Yeah, because if everything is mental health now, like, it's confusing because it's like.
it gets confusing for someone like
Do
me.
you get
or
what I'm trying to say?
We don't
Like,
mind
I'm just
understanding
thinking,
it as well.
bruv, I just thought it's just you being an idiot, bruv. You know
No,
what I
don't
mean?
say
But,
that,
like,
bro. This guy, bro.
No, but I'm just saying as an example, innit? Like,
Kanye West is an example.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, brother, man. I've been telling you, there's
See?
something iffy about him, man.
He's not been right since he lost his mind.
Nah, but you know with
I
Kanye
don't
West,
think-
yeah,
yeah,
you
I
know why I
don't think
find
he's
it
right.
weird, yeah,
Go on.
about his mental health.
What's
Why
that?
is it his mental health only comes out when he's about to release an album? he starts moving mad.
But
Then
you know what? I don't
like the whole year he'll be quiet though. The whole year he's quiet. You know, he was chilling the whole year, and then when it's time to release an album, he wants to start moving.
Do you remember what you said earlier about boxing?
Yeah.
When you started
yeah.
when you started to feel anxious about like feeling
fighting
boxing,
that,
how
yeah.
do you know he's not feeling about this,
He
feeling
can
like
flare
that
up.
Yeah.
when he's about to
drop an album because
release?
he's
'Cause
anxious.
I like no disrespect to you, but it's on a bigger scale, isn't it? And
Yeah,
more
yeah,
people are
true.
gonna hear it. So how do you know he's not like breaking down inside? Like, are people gonna like this? Do you know what I mean? I've done that myself. There's loads of times I'm putting stuff out there and I'm like, yo, I don't know if people are gonna like this. Not even nowhere near his magnitude. So how do you know he's not going through that?
Good point.
To
Very good
understand the fact that what he's going through, innit? Do you know what I mean?
But for me, yeah, some of the stuff he says, man.
Like what?
Like,
Everyone
like,
lets off
like,
differently.
alright, cool.
though.
You see, like, when he was doing the presidential rally or whatever
Yeah,
he was doing, and then
yeah.
he was like, "Oh, I think you didn't free the slaves."
I know you didn't watch the rest of that. You watched the part. They
But
put
I
on
watched
Instagram.
the whole,
The
nah, I
whole
didn't watch
thing.
the whole thing.
Yeah,
I watched that part.
clip they
innit?
put on Twitter.
But everyone's been going mad, bro. Everyone's like, when the people gonna start holding my man accountable?
I'm
for
saying
what he's doing because like,
There's another video itself that he was talking some good stuff in it, and then no one put that one on.
nah, man, because
You want
some
to see the
people
best
tried
of that?
challenging him, and he wasn't trying to hear the challenge. If that makes sense, like he
Watch
was
the whole
just-
video and come back to me, man.
Nah, Kanye West, man, he's a
You just don't like him.
Iffy
If you
guy.
don't like him, that's cool. That's different.
No, it's not even that. He's an iffy guy, man. I don't know. I find him a bit strange, man.
But Meat Mill, how about Meat Mill? He's going through something as well.
He is. He's not
I feel
well.
like Meat Mill's
like
going
the
through
things that he says, it's not normal.
It's not normal.
Meat Mill.
That's not. Huh?
Meat Mill.
Meat Mill.
Oh,
I said
who
Meat
you
Mill.
talking- who you talking
She
about?
said Kanye West.
Kanye
Oh.
West.
Yeah.
So you think Kanye West is not well?
No, he's not well.
Why do you say that?
Because he's not talking sense. Like
Well, what do you mean?
he's not been well since his mum died.
That's many. Yeah. Okay.
Before
cool.
that, he was fine, and now he just talks nonsense. Like even when you talk to him normally, he's just blurting out random words.
You speak to him now?
Not me. when you see him on TV.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
Like
like-
you were saying. Yeah.
even at one time, like you see him taking pictures of you smiling, and he just go,
Yeah, and then he stops.
yeah.
That's
What?
not
What's wrong
normal.
with that?
It's not normal.
He's got bipolar.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what bipolar is, isn't it? When you're one minute this and
Yeah.
1 minute that. That's bipolar, isn't it? Which is the thing. He's actually been diagnosed with that.
I don't know, man.
So you can't say he's not got mental health because.
No, you
Now, I'm
don't.
not saying he don't,
Oh, you just.
but I'm just saying
it's
sometimes I think like he uses it to his advantage, like I'm saying, because he
Do you
knows.
know
That,
it was-
you know what I think he does? Yeah, he knows that if he says the maddest thing, the attention's gonna be on him
I feel like sometimes
and his
he's-
album.
I feel
And
like
But I don't feel
he
like-
does things every day.
But I don't feel like he's using mental health. I feel like he's just using his.
He's never ever come out and said he's got
Yeah.
mental health
No,
problems.
he has.
That's
Okay,
people.
no,
he
he's,
has.
he's mentioned
No,
he's
he
got
has.
he's
About,
mentioned
he's,
he's got
he's
bipolar.
mentioned he's got
Bipolar.
bipolar.
Bipolar, yeah, he
but
mentioned he's got
he's
bipolar,
never
yeah.
ever used it as an excuse.
I
for
feel like a lot of
stuff
people
he
look at him.
does.
If, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I feel like a lot of people give him that diagnosis.
I don't think you can
He's
judge him like
mentally
that
ill.
until you actually sit down and have that conversation with him yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because that's kind of like, obviously I feel sorry for some celebrities being on that mad platform because people like us can literally just judge you like that. But imagine if you're going through your boxing situation now, yeah, and someone else is like in flipping Cambodia is judging you, saying like, why is this guy? He's just looking for attention. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, but I hear that.
And then they could then compare your situation to a kid over in, I don't know, Syria who just lost both their parents to like an explosion or something like that, and say, how can you be acting like that when a kid's just lost that and he's still fighting for another life? Do you know what I mean? So you can't need that one there when you're throwing them sort of things around until you actually have the conversation with the person and you know them. It's kind of me personally, I wouldn't even comment on it. I can't lie.
Nah,
You don't know the individual.
I don't know. I'm not
If
saying
I know the individual.
I'm not saying he ain't got mental health.
See
innit?
if I know. See, I know you now. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I mean, we've known each other since what 11 years old, probably
Yeah.
younger. And if I see you acting a certain way, yeah, and you're blaming everything on mental health, innit? Yeah, I would know for a fact whether or not you're using it as a scapegoat to get attention, or not, because I know you on that level. We don't know Kanye West on that level, so I don't know if we can judge him like that.
You see, for me, yeah, it's just like he's quiet the whole 2-3
Quiet
years.
in
Do you
what
watch
sense?
Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
No.
This is what I'm saying. You're not with him every
Is he on
day.
there?
Yeah, sometimes.
Is he moving mad as well? Now?
I mean,
And what do you mean?
the way he talks is a bit-
What do you mean by quiet as well? Because he's not putting out press releases and stuff like that.
No. Like on Twitter, he's not putting out nothing. Like literally.
Social media. So
Brother,
what?
social
So you're
media.
going based on what you see on social media.
Not even.
But that's
Bruv,
that.
I've been telling you, man,
You're-
like,
you're
for the
clever.
longest about Kanye West, innit?
But
Do you
what
remember?
about him,
Like some of the stuff he says, some of the things he does, and it's like, I don't know whether it's mental health, whether starting with the Donald Trump or start saying the black people. I can't remember what he said.
The slave thing.
The slave thing, the black people thing.
But he cleaned it
the
up,
Harriet
though.
Tubman
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
He didn't clean it up. He didn't really clean it up because people are still mad at him.
He
about
reworded
that.
his thing and he said, "Oh no, I didn't mean to say it like that. Like, it just came out a bit insensitive, innit?" Because what actually meant, and he explained what he meant, innit?
Because even with the Trump thing, 'cause he was like, "Oh, his partnering with Trump because blah blah blah." But
What does his
then-
wife do now?
I don't know what. She
She yeah.
But then he was saying if that's what he was doing. But then he's saying he's still saying like he sees himself in Trump.
Yeah, but
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
in
it's
what aspect?
But he could mean a business.
I think, yeah, in a
Nah,
business.
nah, he
He's
don't
just
mean-
not clear on what
Trump's
he
the only
speaks.
person.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think.
Yeah,
he's
he's never clear. Like, he
That's what
doesn't
I'm trying
make
to say.
anything
So you-
clear. So it leaves us like
you
with
was
this
into-
thing to be able to try and interpret what
Yeah,
he's
you
trying to
was
say. If
into
it's
it,
mental
but
health
my thing
or
is-
what? If he was clear, we wouldn't be able. We wouldn't need to.
Not
do
everyone's
this.
clear when you speak, bruv.
That's facts.
Yeah, but we ain't got a platform like him, so he has to be clear. Like he can't just
Nah,
come out
you-
with random
You can't
ramblings,
expect
bro.
guy-
that from him all the time.
Trust me, just 'cause he's got a platform, then.
Nah, can't
He's
you?
still a human being, isn't it?
Need to
He
buck
doesn't
into
You
it.
don't like the guy. If you don't like the guy, that's cool.
Yeah,
Just say you don't like the
You
guy.
need to sort of be open-minded with that one. I can't lie. Because you
But
don't.
back to that.
Because you could similar. Do you know what is perfect example? Yeah, similar to when we had Cooney on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know Cooney on that level, innit? I thought Cooney was just a comedian. He just talked not nonsense, but like he's just bantering 24/7, innit?
Yeah.
But when I sat down and I spoke to him on a level and he's talking to me about his marketing campaign, blah 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 blah, how all this works, I was like, yo, it was good to see that other side of him. Kanye West could be the exact same for you. All you see is what's put out on the social media.
Propaganda.
You could speak to Kanye West on a level, and you'd be like, rah, you know, I was
Yeah,
wrong.
man.
Then some people have said that about Conor McGregor. You see when he does all of his antics and all of that, and man, are like, oh, he's so arrogant, he's a twat. Da, 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 da. And then other fighters have gone on like Joe Rogan's podcast and said, you know what? I've actually spoke to Conor McGregor behind the scenes and that, and he's
Cool.
actually the most humble guy. What he does is to sell his fight to make the most money.
Makes sense, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like, until you actually sit down and have that conversation with him, you shouldn't really judge.
Judge him like that.
Like,
No, I don't judge him. They
You
get
judge
judged.
him,
I
bro.
don't judge
You
him,
judge
but I
him,
just
man.
maybe I just don't like him, innit? Like,
That's cool. That's
Really?
cool. That's all you have to say, bro. That's calm.
Maybe that's what it is. Innit?
That's fair.
Like,
What you gonna say back to what?
Yeah, back to that. Like the Kanye West thing, when that happened, I feel like our community made a complete joke out of it. Like on Instagram, all you see is memes all day of Kanye West.
But do you know what about
But
Instagram?
That's the era we're
nobody
living in
actually
now,
thinks,
innit?
oh, let me stop laughing. Is he actually alright?
But Instagram, that is not a safe zone, man. Twitter is not a safe zone at all, innit?
I know, but it shows that in our community we don't
Take
take
it
it
seriously.
seriously.
I get you, I guess. Maybe you're right, innit, in terms of that sense.
Yeah. On the flip side to that, though, we've seen a lot of people make like claim in it, like do that stuff for attention, and there's a complete other side, the opposite to it. Do you know what I mean? So that's maybe why they use it all as a mockery, and I guess it's just part of the society we're living in now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of mad. It's kind of mad.
I don't know, man. I feel like mental health is a touchy subject, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
I think it's complex, man. I think
Yeah.
it's complex, bro.
It's real complex, isn't it? When you deep it.
Yeah.
When you deep it. The big issue I have is the self-diagnosing that people do.
Yeah.
And when people brand someone as someone who suffers of depression. I don't like the fact that people get branded with that, because like I said already, depression is a human emotion that we all have. So I don't like the fact that people will brand someone, you suffer with depression.
Yeah.
So how do you think that's going to make that person feel? Do you know what I mean? Like, they're already depressed and you're actually saying, all right, yeah, it's official, you have
You're
depression.
separate
But
and
You're
they're
separate
crazy.
to the rest of us.
But how do you
know what I mean?
how do you like get out of it if you don't actually? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you?
More education needs to be on it, and the bit, like I said, the self-diagnosing thing needs to stop, man. Because like, you can go on Google, you got a headache, bro, and self-diagnose yourself with, I don't know, like with some mad diseases. Do you know
I've
what I
been
mean?
dying a couple times, fam.
According to Google, do you know what I'm saying? And people can do that. I remember I looked at ADHD, right? So I looked at all the ADHD, what's the word I'm looking for? Symptoms of
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Symptoms.
Yeah.
symptoms, all the symptoms that, sorry, I was mind block. All the symptoms of ADHD, and I fit 9 out of 10 of them. I could then, cause if I'm in school now, like I diagnosed with ADHD, they give me an extra, they segregate me from the rest of the class.
Yeah.
I couldn't learn the right way in the way I have.
Set 8 and that.
It's, do you know what I'm saying? But this,
No, that was mad when he did that stuff.
but
bro.
this is the thing, innit? This is the problem I have when people self-diagnose over that kind of stuff. I literally, if I Google it now, all 4 of us in the room could relate to
So what
maybe
do you
7
feel-
out of 10.
Do you feel like the best way is to go to get clinically diagnosed?
But I think people there needs to be more. I know they're trying to do mental health awareness, but maybe it needs to be taught in school, but not in a way that it needs to be taught in a. I don't. It's hard, man, to explain
How do
how
you
it
break the
needs to be
cycle?
taught.
How do you stop feeling mentally ill if that's the right way to say it?
Nah, well, how to stop them feeling it? I think
Yeah,
people
well,
need to
actually,
actually just educate people on what it actually is.
Okay, my thing is, if you don't know you got it, cool. If you don't know what it is, then how do you know if you got it? If that makes sense.
That's-
Or
Go
haven't
to
got
the
it.
doctor.
This is
No,
the
that's what
thing.
I'm saying. But he's saying that you should be diagnosed.
Yeah,
innit?
this is the thing. Do you know what? Yeah, I literally just remembered this. You know, one of my a girl I used to work with, innit? Yeah, she no longer works with us, innit? She suffered with depression, anxiety. So they actually classed her as someone with depression, anxiety. So with that, what they actually did, they prescribed her with pills.
Yeah.
And what them pills actually did actually made her much worse, and she actually tried to take
Side
her own
effects,
life, innit? I think
Yeah.
she'd actually like to come on and chat to
Yeah,
one
no,
day.
that'd be good, that'd be good.
But like, she actually tried to take her own life because of these pills. Now, when she stopped taking these pills and she understood what was actually going on, yeah, she did her own research into it. Yeah,
Yeah.
she is another person similar to me that she hates the fact that when people being labelled as someone,
That's
you've
it,
got
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? Depression. We all sort of have it to a degree, but because you have it, you go to the doctor, you get diagnosed with it. They put you on these, they put you on antidepressants,
Yeah.
and then, do you know what I mean? That term there, antidepressant, is so
Negative.
vague. People always think that antidepressant means it must be a pill.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People, there's a thing called financial anxiety, like when you have loads of bills to pay, something that we'll all suffer with at some point in our life. Do you know what I mean? Which is financial anxiety. A pill is not going to solve financial anxiety.
course not.
What will solve that is them bills being paid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And these are the kind of things that need to be like talked about, and the whole prescribing of bills. Because you got to remember, it's a conspiracy theory here,
Of
but
course.
the government and the pharmaceutical companies are profiting
Yeah,
off
of
this
course,
kind
of
of
course,
stuff, and
of
hence
course.
why they push all this kind of stuff in
Yeah.
it. But I think more information needs to be said about it, and it needs to stop all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, coming to pills and medicine, I've never been a guy for them things, man. I'm gonna be even
Yeah.
paracetamol. I don't even take that, bro.
I hate that kind of stuff.
Because I feel like if I take paracetamol, I go, "Where's a headache, bro?"
Yeah.
A couple days after, I'm not a pills guy, man.
I looked into
Natural
it
ways.
bare. Like, I remember one guy did a research in America. You all know what the placebo's effect is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like when they give you like a fake
It
pill
says to do
and it
that,
actually
yeah.
nothing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there was two groups of people. One group of people had 10. I think it was like 20 people all had depression, innit?
Yeah.
Prescribed 10 with the pill, prescribed 10 with the placebo pill, innit?
Yeah.
And after a certain period of time, only one person didn't actually overcome the depression or whatever, or didn't improve from the depression, and that was one person from the placebo. For all the other 9 completely recovered from it, even though the placebo was just a sugar-based pill. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to remember, a lot of these pharmaceutical companies are benefiting from this kind of stuff, innit? And the mental side of it needs to be talked about a lot more, man.
So what do you not think like that? The main aspects of depression are, or anxiety? Like, what do you think are the main things? Like,
I don't know, because I feel like people are different, innit? We've all got different fears, different things that make us anxious. Like, let's say if I had a youth, I might be anxious that if my youth, let's say in America, you know, where mad things be going
for
on.
example, yeah.
So like if my youth goes to school, I might be
Anxiety,
anxious. I might have anxiety. Like,
Yeah.
what if something mad
Happens to
happens
them,
when she's
yeah.
at school?
Of course.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like
So it'll be-
a school shooter comes through and does a mazzoline, and then like that might make me anxious. I feel like it's different. I feel like
in situations.
registering with with the emotion is the first thing to do in it. Like you have to be able because sometimes we don't understand in it. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm anxious and I don't know what I'm anxious about.
Yeah.
So I just try to
I don't mean I get that sometimes as well.
do a lot of things just to forget about it.
Like, yeah.
But
I mean, it's still there back in.
It's still there, innit?
No, I feel like I've had like a thing like that before, but mine's been to do with expectations. I think. 'Cause I think I was at some point I was like, I didn't know what I was doing in it. Even though I was doing it right in it, I didn't know where I was going with it. If that makes sense. So I kind of had like this thing where I was like, I get sometimes I get like sometimes like once a year maybe, fuck knows, isn't it?
I think
I'll
it's
be
a
like,
case
I'm like,
of
oh, what am I doing next? Like, what? Like, am I actually doing anything? Like, I'm this age. Like, it's like expectations are too high,
Yeah.
but I'm actually deep. I'm actually doing it right in it, so I don't have to be like that.
But is it expectations are too high or you're putting too much pressure on yourself? I feel like that might be
Putting
the
pressure-
problem, innit? No, I
I
don't.
don't think I'm comparing myself to anyone else, innit? I think like I'm comparing myself to what I want to do at a certain stage, innit? So I'm putting time on myself, innit, which don't make sense.
I look at this. I just googled it. Yeah, depression test. Do you have depression? So in 2 minutes you can do a test, yeah, and you can label yourself as someone that's got depression. Go to the doctors, get subscribed with a pill, and
That's
then
crazy, bro.
this. Do you know what I mean? This is the problem that is going on.
What so that's
Literally, I typed
They do that in
in.
the doctors as well.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah.
I
See,
typed
what
in,
doctors,
I typed in depression test
doctors are
quotes
frauds, brother.
and all them others different kind of
But
Brother, I
stuff.
go to my doctors.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I go to my doctors. They be googling diagnosis. But I could do the same stuff at home.
This is
I
the-
swear on my life
This
in
is-
front of my
this is the
face,
thing,
bro.
and like it's not a joke to like I don't. I'm one thing I'm not saying is that I don't believe that people don't have depression. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the way it's dealt with
Yeah.
from pharmaceutical companies, and
Yeah.
I don't agree with that at all.
course not, of course
Like, if you can Google a depression test and within 2 minutes, a computer, by the way, that has got a certain algorithm to determine whether you have depression or not. So you could go through loads of childhood trauma. People could have passed away. All these different kinds of stuff would happen. A computer algorithm can determine if all of that is depression. That's mad. I'm
No, I think-
actually getting angry thinking about it.
I think it's important to note that, like, not that food is like the be all end all, but like it also contributes. So like if you're eating junk every day, that's not going to help your energy. It's not going to make you feel any better. If
you
you're
feel
just
like
sitting
laziness.
down
Yeah,
all
yeah,
day,
yeah.
it's not going to help.
Yeah, because that's
Same way exercise is quite good as well.
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
Isn't
exercise,
it?
yeah.
Because one of the
It's
symptoms
gonna help.
of depression is actually like loss of energy, like very low energy levels. But if all that's down to your diet, because of
And
that
your
you've got
day-to-day
that, well, then
lifestyle.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's so many blurred lines, like you said already.
But I feel like sometimes as well, the way people try to get over these things, like, you know, like drugs, alcohol, girls,
Yeah, a lot of man.
sex.
Yeah. I think people get addicted to certain things,
To
innit?
certain things, like
And
even like
that kind of puts them off something else, innit?
I remember even what you were saying in the car, even though I don't agree with it to a certain extent. Like, let's say if you break up and then you're just trying to do the next thing
Yeah.
straight afterwards, like without registering what's
The next girl,
actually
the next girl,
happening.
the next